the meeting of the Santa Cruz City County Libraries JPA Board. Can I have a roll call, please?
Chair Goldstein,
Here.
Vice Chair Bernal,
Here.
Board Member Comstock,
Here.
Board Member Moriello.
Here.
Okay, great. So with that, our next item is item number 2, which is presentations.
And before we do that, we should probably mention that Chair Goldstein is teleconferencing for this meeting as well from the same location.
Are we sure about that? Are you still there in the same place?
I'm still here.
Okay, make a note of that. He's
You
still
sure
in
you
the
haven't
walls.
gone to Pete's Coffee yet or anything, right?
No, but I did get a refill on my coffee.
Okay, great. Next time we got to get you on Skype or
FaceTime them.
Okay. All right, so then we can move on to item 2, which is a presentation from Shelley on collection management services policy. Hi, Shelley.
Good morning. Board members, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Shelley Bodemer, Collection Management Services Manager at Santa Cruz Public Libraries. This morning I'd like to give you a brief overview of the collection development policy you'll find on page 4 of your agenda. Collection Management Services is a behind-the-scenes department of the library that selects, orders, receives, catalogs, and processes all of the materials on our shelves. We also select and order the electronic content for our virtual branch, as well as managing interlibrary loan. Ultimately, I am responsible for these operations, and I have the good fortune to have a wonderful team who, following the collection development policy, do the actual work. The policy provides direction to all staff about how materials are selected for our collection. It tells patrons and authors what they can expect to find on the shelves of the Santa Cruz Public Libraries. The policy also provides direction for collection maintenance, the redistribution and removal of material. As you can well imagine, we don't have room on our shelves for every book ever written, nor do we have room to keep every book we order every year. By clearly stating what staff are looking for when performing collection maintenance, we alleviate confusion over the process. Assessing current and anticipated needs of our community while balancing the funds available to us is our ongoing mission. Staff in collection management services receive continuing education in order to keep current with the ever-changing world of publishing. We maintain the online database that populates the catalog that our patrons use to find the things that they want and need. In order to keep that database current, we are always learning best practices for entering the data and keeping it fresh. New formats arrive and old formats leave, keeping us on our toes about how to order and how to process those materials. Santa Cruz has a rich history, and then in this area, the library can provide access to information that would not be collected or maintained by any other entity in the county. We are constantly looking for ways to provide access to satisfy the information needs of patrons throughout the county. So hopefully, that will answer your questions.
Thank you.
Certainly.
Do you have any questions?
The only thing I was surprised at is that gifts are not tax deductible.
Gifts to the library are not tax deductible. Gifts to the friends of the library are tax deductible.
Okay, and so why is that they're not tax deductible? Do you know?
It's got to be a law.
I'm sure there's a law.
You know, we might want to put that on our list because the county used to have a similar situation where we didn't, provide people with tax statements, and we did do some checking and found out that there were many things that we could do that for. So we set up a few systems to accomplish that. Not that I don't think our community will be happy to donate to the Friends, but it would be nice to be able to.
Sure.
And it would be relevant for bequests, particularly because a lot of people like to leave, their estates, portions of their estates to the library system.
And maybe related to the bequest policy or so that.
Yeah, may very well.
But we can look at that too.
Yeah, I just think we ought to put it on our list and check it out.
I'm wondering what's the non-finance part of it.
I beg pardon?
The nonprofit part of it.
Yeah, and again, the way it works in the county, we have established some nonprofits. So some people contribute directly to the nonprofits. For example, we have a parks nonprofit, and so they do that. But we have a trust fund set up, for example, in child welfare. If you want to make a donation for poor kids that are in foster care for skateboards and, things that they might need that they wouldn't otherwise be able to obtain, you could direct those donations directly to the county for those purposes, and we'll give you a tax statement. So, and again, I'm not sure of all the details of what went in.
We'll investigate.
Yeah, it'd be fun to look at. Maybe we
Yeah.
can.
Right.
And we do, and the same thing with requests now. We do accept requests. We have gotten them in animal services and other places.
And we have requests as well.
Yeah.
Some are administered by the Friends and some are administered by the foundation. We
Uh-huh.
have several, we have quite a few, fortunately.
Right, some requests are specific to a
Yes.
facility or...
Of course.
Or
Yes.
some are of types of material that
Yes.
people want us to collect.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think, the city also, like, for example, for parks, some people want to give directly to the Parks Department, some give people
Yeah.
to the Friends of Parks and Recreation. So it may be, again, a policy issue, or I don't know, maybe it's...
I'll find out.
Well, the last time I donated to the city, I took it off my taxes, so I hope it worked. It was a while ago, though. I think I'm beyond the statute of limitations. No, but I do make contributions to the city parks department on occasion.
I'll look into that.
Happy to do it. Actually, your staff was great. We donated some trees to Lighthouse Field for the windbreak for the butterflies.
Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, no, this was really great. For me, it was really just great to sort of learn about this, and just like, for example, just seeing that there's like the freedom to read statement in the Library Bill of Rights. It's just really enlightening. There's all this, all these considerations that are taken into account. So
Yeah.
it
We
was,
have a lot behind us to help support us.
yeah, it was very informative. So thank you very much. Okay, with that, anyone from the public would like to comment on this item? Nope. Okay, so let's move on to the next item, which is additional materials. I don't think there are any additional materials. Additions and deletions to the agenda. I don't think there are any.
We don't have any.
Next is oral communications. So time for anyone from the public who'd like to address the board on any item that is not on the agenda. Do we have anybody who'd like to speak at oral communications? Wow, this is a really quiet group. We're going to have to figure out a way to get them to talk. Okay. Next is a report by library director. Janice?
Okay, I'll talk. The first thing that I want to comment on for the board is this agenda format is a new format that we worked out with the chair, Jamie, and we would like to know, as time goes on, if this is a format that is workable for you, if it helps, if there is information that you would like to have in a different way, if you would like the points organized in a different way, any kind of feedback so that we can help make it more efficient, please let us know. But this is the first meeting with the new format, and I just wanted to point that out to you. Then I have a couple of updates. I have received the notice of the appointees for 3 of the 7 Library Citizens Advisory Commissions. I'm still waiting to hear the 4 other names, and as soon as we have all 7 appointees gathered, then we can begin forming that new Citizens Commission. My other update is about 10 days ago, the recruitment for the library director began and is out there into the world, and within 2 or 3 days we already had 2 applications. I talked to June Garcia. I haven't talked to her recently, so I can't give you an update, but I will, so people are interested, and we're making sure people know that it's happening and what a great place this is to work, and a great library system and a great staff we have.
The brochure was really nice.
Oh, good. Thank you. And the initial applications are due March 7th. Then there will be an opportunity to reduce the number of applications to a short list.
There will be more interaction with the people on the short list, and then that will come down to the final candidates where there will be more involvement with them. And so the timeline is dependent on that and how long it takes to create those short lists. Then the last thing that I want to talk to you about is very exciting. I want you to know about the library has been awarded through the efforts of staff members Brenda McElroy, Leslie Auerbach, a Book to Action grant from the California Center for the Book. This is actually the second Book to Action grant we have received. The previous one we won and was focusing on jail service and mass incarceration. Is actually the action that the library took as a result of that is to improve jail service and introduce book discussions in several of the sites of county jail facilities, and that has been very successful. We expect this new grant to be equally successful. It's very different. What Brenda and Leslie are going to do is use a book by Paul Fleischman, who you might be familiar with. He now lives in Santa Cruz County. He's a very well-known author of books for children and teenagers and poetry. He has a book called Eyes Wide Open, Going Behind Environmental Headlines. It's a nonfiction book, and what it is a book to inspire teenagers to take action on environmental issues in their community. And Mr. Fleischman, who lives here and is willing to interact with teenagers in several different formats to involve them in some work leading up to Earth Day. So starting on March 5th, going until April 16th, which is Earth Day. Library staff, Brenda and Leslie, are going to be working with Mr. Fleischman with several partners, and they include the Museum of Art and History's youth group, which is called Subject to Change, which I think is a great name for a teen group. The youth group of Peace United Church of Christ, Scotts Valley High School, Santa Cruz Earth Day Committee, and Food Poit. You may be familiar with them. They're a youth empowerment and food justice organization. They have a group of teenagers in Santa Cruz and a group of teenagers in Watsonville, and we're going to be working with them. They are going to have the opportunity to talk to him. Paul Fleischman is not going to stand up in the front of a big group and just talk at him. They're going to be able to interact with him in the groups they've already formed, and have the opportunity to come up with the individual actions they want to take. The library's action on this will be to participate in Earth Day at San Lorenzo Park on April 16th. This is a very good example of one of the most important functions that the public library has, and that is to be a community forum and a place where different people can gather and exchange ideas. And we are especially excited because it addresses teenagers, and this is a program where they get involved, not just with the library, but the other organizations that are important to them regarding the environment. I wanted you to know about that. We're very excited about that. I think it will be successful. It does include, by the way, the funding includes money to purchase books. We're going to be able, with our library discount, to purchase a little over 300 books, and we are mandated to get those away. So no young person who wants to read and participate will be excluded because they can't buy the book. The idea is we give the books to the teenagers, they pass them along, maybe even to their parents. The library, of course, will also have copies in its collection. So that's Book to Action from the California Center for the Book. And I also get to do some bragging today. We have staff recognition today, and these are all people I'm really happy to brag about, and I don't want to forget anybody, so I'm going to where that is. And it's on page 15 of your report. The first person is Donna Barber. She works at the branch, and one of the things that we do, because we have so many sites in the library, is we have a social media team. That is, that some person on the staff in each place will take the responsibility to take photographs to forward that we can use to help people understand all of the different services the library offers. Donna is one of those at Capitola. I don't know if you're Instagram followers or not. If you are, then follow the library. If you don't, but we are actually very well known. Our library is very well known for our Instagram site. We're followed by lots of members of the community, as well as several other public libraries, actually in-state and out-of-state. And so Donna contributes to that team. She always has really interesting, quirky posts on Instagram, so she's one to look for. Anytime you see anything from Capitola, that will be Donna's work. Catherine Workman is here, and I'll point her out so you can look at her while I brag about her. Catherine was nominated for work she's doing with the staff and the kind of support that she offers when staff come to do programs at Garfield Park. But I don't want to let it go with that. I've known Catherine since she was in high school. She worked for us as a library page, and she is now branch manager of Garfield Park Branch Library, and I am really proud and happy about that. She does a wonderful job, and if you look through your report, you will see later on in this report that members of the public will write to us and tell us what a good job she is doing. So that's Catherine right there, and I am really pleased of what she contributes and how long her commitment to the library has been. Cesar Gallardo and Daniel Ruiz were nominated because we needed to do some work to take out a large portion of the carpet downstairs in this branch to make it safer and a little bit easier to deal with, sometimes with insects and things that we have to deal with in the library. But we're open 7 days a week. And they agreed on their own. They figured out a schedule where you could take up carpet and do all the necessary treatment of the floor and not disturb public service in the downtown branch. And that took late nights and some rearranging, and their families had to agree to this too, and they did some suffering on that, but it worked out and they did a really good job. And what I want to say, Daniel has been with us for a very long time. He is somebody who loves to climb ladders, so he most recently has
Figuratively and literally?
Yes. Trying to help us with the roof, the leaking roof at Scotts Valley Branch. And Cesar, I want to point out Cesar because after the earthquake, we thought the fireplace at the Garfield Park Branch couldn't work anymore. We were told, oh, you can't repair it, you'll never be able to afford to, blah, blah, blah. And so when Cesar is fairly new to the staff, and so we took him around to the branches, and he looked at it and said, well, I can fix it. And he fixed it. And so now on rainy, cold days, you can take your work over to the Garfield Park Branch and sit by the fire, and it's really comfortable, and Catherine will make you comfortable.
So there aren't fireplaces at every branch?
No, but we can fix that.
That makes sense.
That's right. That can be done. And then Sarah Harvison, who is one of the backbones of our reference staff. Sarah not only has great skill as a reference librarian, but she's very approachable. Someone her colleagues like to work with and the public likes to work with, and Sarah deserves all of this wonderful comment. Another wonderful member of our team. She's based at the downtown branch, but goes and serves on the reference desk at other branches. So I'm always happy to brag about these people.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And
That's great. Thank you so much.
any comments?
You know, all I could think of is fireside chats at the Garfield Branch now. We should get some politicians to come and talk how they love the library.
I don't want to date myself, but I grew up on the west side of Santa Cruz several years ago, and Garfield Park was my go-to library.
So before it was even built, you were...
Even the years, but it was in my youth.
Okay.
It hasn't changed. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It's a classic. It's a classic library. Okay, so with that, thank you very much, Janice. Nice report. Thank you. We'll move on to the next item, which is the report by Friends of the Santa Cruz Public Libraries.
Hi again.
So I'm Cordelia Neff. I'm the Executive Director of the Friends of the Santa Cruz Public Libraries. So January is a little bit of a slower month for us. So we spent a lot of our time catching our breath from the hectic fundraising of the end of 2015, as well as planning ahead for 2016, our fundraising and event calendar. Though we did actually go to Hack UCSC last week and we presented, and maybe we'll even get chosen by one of the students for their prize money as a charitable gift. Coming up, we're still working with the campaign committee to do as much as we can to assist the campaign, of course. On Monday, we will be at Discretion Brewing, and I invite all of you to come have a beer with us. 20% of beer sales will go to the Friends of the Library, and it'll be a great chance to meet my board. Also, the Scotts Valley chapter is having a fundraiser on February 20th. They are doing Murder in the Stacks. So come with your friends and try to solve the whodunit. Again, that's February 20th from 7 to 9:30. Tickets are $50 in advance, $55 at the door, and are available at the branch.
Will there be a body somewhere you found?
I hope so. the flyer. The flyer does feature the taped out line of someone, so I hope there is a body.
It might be Kevin Costner in the casket. That's his first role.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions? Thank you again. Okay, so we can move on to the next item, which is comments by board members. Jamie, you have any comments? You usually do.
No, I don't. I think Janice stole my thunder by explaining the new agenda.
Yeah, no, that's great.
It looks great. Thank you.
Janice said it a lot better than you would have, so that's good.
Yeah, I sure she did.
All right. Anybody else? Susan?
No, it's great.
Just want to apologize for being late. I printed out the wrong agenda.
No problems. Nice to have you, Chuck. Okay, next item is the consent calendar. These are all the items listed here, A through H. We'll take action in one motion unless somebody would like to remove them from the consent.
I'll move the consent agenda.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Is there anybody in the public who'd like to comment on the consent items? Okay. All right, and I'm gonna have to get used to this roll call votes. Okay, so move on to a roll call vote.
Chair Goldstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bernal,
Yes.
Board Member Comstock,
Yes.
Board Member Moriello.
Yes. Why do we have to do roll call?
Because he's on the phone.
Oh, because of the phone.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah. Okay. Next item is the item 10, which is general business. We have one item on, I believe it's just one item on general business, which is the preparation of a program budget which reflects the administrative expenses of the special tax measure. I'll turn this over to Rich.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
if I can just say from the
Yes.
staff's point of view, and then Rich can make his comments, it has become difficult for the staff to be sure that we are properly tracking all of the business related to the special measure, because we didn't have that in the regular library budget. We don't have a place for it. And so we've been trying to track it, and we get it sometimes from a lot of different people. And so when I was talking to Rich about this, the idea of creating a program budget where we could know what is anticipated, know what things are coming, and then we can take the appropriate actions. There's been several budget adjustments that we'll have to make because none of these things were in the budget the way it was. And also, the division managers of the library are beginning to outline their recommendations for the 16-17 budget. So we thought if we could have direction from the board, not just to form the program budget, but any other advice or parameters you wanted to set, that will help us take care of the current things that are happening, but anticipate what we need to have in the budget that we're starting to work on now. So we are asking for direction to form this program budget, and we'll do that with Rich, and then ask for any direction if you want to give related to that.
So, and like other program budgets, this is a best guess as what's going to be out there. We'll take a look at the possibility of successful bond measure, which would have the library JPA spending funds from its resources until the taxes are assessed and collected. So we will take a look ahead at that, and if the bond measure is successful, of course, that aspect of it will be included into the next year's budget. The program budget will include personnel costs. It will include contract costs, and I'll try and show what's been spent and what we have yet to spend, and those library and some other subtle issues with regards to that.
So, I'm sorry, but I don't know how the budgets have been set up in the past and what the structure of those are. But I know that we have, over the course of time, tried to find a certain piece of information out and don't really have a simple way to accumulate that information. So maybe it would behoove us to get a little study session soon on how are the budgets currently structured, and then what do we want to see for next year. Because for me, I would like to see a branch by branch summary. I'd like to see something that, you know, for example, the overall staff could be in one place, and then you could roll all those things up to get to your total, but you'll be able to start looking at them at a little bit more detailed level so that we can, you know, pay attention to some of those kinds of things as we move forward. And then, of course, we'll need to set up whatever appropriations for the bond measure, as you suggest. I think that's an excellent idea, but again, I would hope that we could do it as a part of the JPA so that we don't have to be filing more reports to the state and doing all of that. I would like to try to do it as efficiently as we can. But that would be, you know, my preliminary view without the benefit of how we do it now.
Okay. Right now, you pretty much have a line item budget.
But it's all together. Everything is all together.
Everything is together, and it is a line item budget.
And the line item budget's great. And again, I just think if you break that down into some sub-orgs that you could roll up, I mean, Chuck's the master of that. We could solicit his advice on how best to do it.
And with respect to the special tax piece, we don't really have any normal things. So
Right.
that's really
That's right.
the most immediate piece of it.
That's right.
It absolutely is.
Right, the rest would, I think, be more of a, you know, next year budget
As we move
structure.
to the
Sure.
budget. Right. No, I think that makes sense because obviously we don't do these measures very often, so it's just getting organized. And we're lucky to have Rich here to help with that.
And then,
it is quite a bit of work.
and then again, in terms of, you know, the preparation of the budget for some future agenda, you know, we should talk about what's likely with the resources that we have
Yes.
available. Will we be able to get the rest of the open hours and, you know, some of those things we've chatted about over the years.
Yes.
Any questions from the other board members? Chuck or Jamie, do you have any questions, comments on this item?
Oh, I know.
Okay. Anyone from the public that'd like to comment or have questions from this item? Anything else, Rich?
I would move approval of the recommended action on this item.
All right, is there a second? Second. All right, we'll do a roll call vote then, so there's been a motion second.
Chair Goldstein,
Yes?
Vice Chair Bernal,
Yes?
Board Member Comstock,
Yes.
Board Member Moriello.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, we'll adjourn the meeting, and this will adjourn to this meeting. This board will next meet on Thursday, March 3rd at 6:30 p.m. at the Boulder Creek Branch Library in Boulder Creek. Thank you.
Thank you.